So today we're going to dive into a story that's older than humanity itself, a cosmic rebellion. But this wasn't just some battle of brute force. No, according to the source material we're breaking down, this was a legal challenge, a full-blown accusation leveled against the very throne of God. Let's get right into it. And boom, it all kicks off with this raw ambition. This quote from Isaiah just perfectly captures that desire, the one that sparked a universal conflict. It was a direct play for the highest seat of power. But, to really get what's at stake here, we have to understand the kingdom that was being challenged in the first place.
Okay, so first up, a kingdom of love. Let's take a look at the divine order that existed before all this drama went down.
And what's so interesting is how this source defines this divine authority. It's not about just, arbitrary power. It describes its very foundation as righteousness and justice. And the expression of that authority, the law of the universe, is love. So the idea is that the commandments aren't these heavy restrictions. They're more like a blueprint for how everything can exist in perfect harmony.
And this is what really drives home the stakes. The throne isn't just a fancy chair, it's the absolute epicenter of cosmic governance. Think about it. The very character of whoever's on that throne dictates reality for everyone, for everything. It's the ultimate source of all law and order.
All right, Section 2. The throne is challenged. And this is where our accuser steps onto the stage.
So this chart really lays out the two opposing sides, right? On one side, you've got a government based on love with the goal of universal harmony, and on the other, an ambition just fueled by self-exaltation, aiming for personal supremacy. This wasn't just a simple power grab. It was like trying to replace the entire universe's operating system with something totally, fundamentally different.
Okay, moving on to Section 3, the accusation. This is the moment the whole conflict pivots. It stops being a simple rebellion and turns into a full-blown cosmic court case.
And this is the question at the very heart of it all. It's actually a pretty brilliant and, insidious attack. Why? Because it doesn't go after God's power, which, let's be real, is kind of undeniable. Instead, it attacks his character, his righteousness, and his very fitness to rule.
So, let's break down the prosecution's argument step by step. First, the claim. God's law of love is an impossible standard for created beings. And if that's true, well, it leads to a couple of really devastating conclusions. Number one, God's a liar for demanding something that can't be done. And number two, he's a murderer for judging everyone by a law they can't possibly keep. So, the final demand? Abolish the law and overthrow God's government.
Section 4. Cast into darkness. As you can imagine, the response to this level of treason was, it was swift and decisive. So they get cast out of heaven, right, and they're thrown into this state the scriptures call Tartarus, basically a pit of darkness. But here's the key part of this interpretation. This dark pit isn't some fiery underworld you might be picturing. The source material actually says it's planet Earth itself, which was plunged into confinement and gloom.
And this is where the source makes a really direct connection. That description of Earth at the very beginning of the Bible, formless, empty, darkness everywhere, that's seen as the direct result of Earth becoming the prison for these fallen beings. That chaos you read about, according to this view, that is the chaos of rebellion.
All right, Section 5, a question of justice. And this brings up a huge question, a real cosmic dilemma, right? If God is all-powerful, why not just, snap his fingers and obliterate the whole rebellion? Just be done with it.
Exactly. Why the delayed sentence? Why let this whole cosmic court case drag on for who knows how long, instead of just dropping the hammer and restoring order by force? That is the core problem we're looking at.
Well, according to this interpretation, just wiping them out immediately would have been a tactical win, sure, but a total moral defeat. It wouldn't have actually answered the accusation, it just would have silenced the accuser. The other angels, they might start obeying out of fear, not genuine love and trust. And that little seed of doubt about God's justice, it would just sit there, waiting to sprout into another rebellion down the line. To really, truly win, God had to prove his character and the goodness of his law, not just flex his power. And this, right here, is what the source presents as the ultimate rebuttal. The whole argument gets flipped on its head. The one who accused God of being a liar is revealed to be the actual father of lies, and his original charge was the first and greatest lie of them all. So where does that leave us? Think about it. If the entire universe is a courtroom, and the judge himself is the one on trial, how in the world do you ever reach a verdict?
How can God's character be proven innocent and the justice of his law of love be established once and for all? That's the huge question this cosmic drama sets out to answer.